this is for if you already know the side bend. We're just going to roll right through it. Use a pillow if you need to. Knees come up about, so it sort of feels like knees are in front. You could explore having knees further down or even knees higher up in the side bend, but we'll just do knees, knees forward of hips. And let's just have an easy self-evaluation. Is your side stuck? You could breathe up into those ribs a little bit, into the upper ribs. You could let that hand, upper hand, be on the side of head and let shoulder roll forward and say, okay, do the ribs allow that shoulder to roll forward? Do the ribs allow the shoulder to roll back? Just see what you've got. Okay. Let the stretch of the shoulder define your hand position. So lately I've been maybe holding the back of my head. I've been holding the front of my head with the lower hand. You could lift with the lower hand. Maybe I taught it to you that way. But we're just going to do the side bend. So I like putting it together. Let's just try the lower half. As the waist closes, the waist is closing to lift the ankles. Can you find that effort? Can you find the right amount of front compared to back? You could arch the back to have the back help a little bit more. You could curl up a little bit in front to have the front help a little bit more. And you could just have that upper hand just resting and say, okay, brain, do you understand that the waist is opening, that the waist can open? And we can try a couple different foot positions. You could have, I like just ankles spaced apart, but you could have upper foot in front and explore what line does that help light up? Okay. It's not about how far you go. It's the waist closing. The ankles are the weight. The ankles are just along for the ride. We're not trying to get the ankles up. We're trying to close the waist and push our lower side into the floor. Okay. I'm just lowering easy. Just take your time all the way down. This time, let's switch feet. Lower foot is in front, and come on up with that. Now, does the upper half want to lift up? Be gentle on the neck. Let the hand lift the head if the head needs to lift. We're just coming on up. The side bend. We're just practicing. Go at your own pace. Just breathing and really take your time. How do you melt down? How softly can you set your head down on that pillow? Let's go really easy. The breath into the upper side, feet in any interlocked position or just ankles a little bit separated. The gentle breath in. On the exhale, that lower hand can help lift the head if it wants and close on up. Really, it's pulling that upper shoulder down through the body. Can it pull to the upper hip and the lower hip? Can you really close the body, close the ribs? The head is heavy in the hands. The head is pushing down a little to the floor. Just open easy out of that. The little steps. I like little steps. Can you sort of unfreeze from every effort level? Can you diminish out of every effort level? And just sort of melting down. Not so much a stretch and an opening, but could it be a softening? Can you just soften more and more? The gentle breath in. Exhale, closing. I'm pushing as the ribs close. The ribs close to pull the shoulder that lifts the elbow, that lifts the hand, that lifts the head. The ribs pull that shoulder down into the body, and that waist can close up. It's like I'm shining the tops of my thighs down to the floor. Okay? I'm just pushing my side down into the floor, the lower side into the floor. Just open easy out of that. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Just soft. 2 and 1. The gentle breath in on the exhale. How does it start? Start it slowly. Don't let it run away with you. How do you put it all together that the waist closes, the ribs close, connect everything? Let the head be heavy in the hand, gentle on the neck. The neck barely needs to lift. You can lower the head a little bit, Make the ribs do the lifting and the waist does the lifting. And just open easy. Open easy out of that. In all of that that's opening, which part doesn't know how to open? Where does it not know how to open? All the way open, okay? And we could do, here's something I've been exploring. If you take your upper leg and it extends down the mat, and your lower leg, it hooks up over just above the knee. So a gentle breath in. And on the exhale, okay. How does that, can you lift that amplified load? Can the waist close, the ribs close, pulling that armpit down toward, just down into you? Okay, it's not the neck. The neck isn't saving the day. The neck isn't doing the work. The neck is purely a continuation of the curve of the spine. Okay, just open easy out of that. Yeah, that's it. Slow, 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 all the way, beautiful opening, nice and long. Reach out for it maybe. There you go. Okay. And then just to assess at the end, well, roll on back. And how is it in the middle of the movement? How do you get from here to there? Is it easy through the middle of the movement? Most of the time we're operating at the middle in the middle of our range, not at the outside edges of it. Okay. Now, if you'd like, you're welcome. I usually practice actually without a pillow. Can the ribs open enough to let the head rest on the floor? Gentle on the neck. The neck doesn't have to hardly do anything. The neck can be soft through the whole thing. So let's just try one without, if you'd like, without a pillow, the gentle breath in. On the exhale, closing on up. Could be just that big. How can you find a little bit, maybe curl up a little bit in front? You can pull collarbone to front pocket. You could do one and curl up. Well, how does that line open? As you open, do you let that shoulder roll back? Can you breathe that line open? Does your brain see that as breathing space? And again, we'll do that same line. Upper collarbone to upper front pocket of pants. The gentle breath in. And squeezing the air out of that line. Make that line small. All the air is out. Curl up a little bit. Hands hold the head as needed. Gentle on the neck. Could interlock the hands behind the head. Okay, that's another way to do it. And open out of that slow. Open out of that slow. Let that shoulder roll back. Upper shoulder rolls back. The collarbone lengthens away from front pocket. Or we could do one to emphasize the tension in the back a little bit. This one we're going to arch the back a little bit. The gentle breath in and lifting on up. Ankles come up. Waist closes and armpit closes. And now how do you add the back? Do you push the belly forward and the back closes a little bit extra? That shoulder pulls back. Sometimes I've explored having that upper hand hold the forehead, and it has a little bit extra load of the head to pull back. And can you connect that back shoulder to your low back? And open out of that easy. Open out of that easy. This is for people who have learned the side bend in all the details with me. Not a stretch, not into any strain. Let's try one half the effort. Last one, any way you'd like. The gentle breath in. On the exhale, we're just going to close on up. It's not a lift as much as it's a closing. Can you close that line of the side? Well, there you go. Close up just the right amount. Now, is it easy? If it's not easy, back off a little bit. Find an effort level that's easy. And lowering down easy. Slow. Slow. Can you see it? Can you see what's moving away from what? Does your brain understand that that line can open? It's a possibility, it's a potential for that line to be long. And change is dynamic. Okay, so we're just gonna reassess here. And elbow comes forward and elbow goes back, and just see what you've got now. And I invite you to lie down on your back and just compare the two sides and what's happening. Oh, is one side softer? Is one side, do you know one side better than the other? Well, let's try the other side. Okay, great. Let's do the side bend on the second side. Use a pillow if you need to. Knees are up so they feel like they're about straight out from the front of the hips. Okay, you could interlock the hands behind the head. A gentle breath in. Just try breathing into the side of the body. Okay, we could do that self-assessment of shoulder rolls forward and shoulder rolls back, and is it as free as it go back and forth? Just see what you've got. Okay. Let's do the side bend a little bit. Gentle breath in, and on the exhale, okay, how is this side different? How does this side pull you in? How does it want to run away with you? Just sort of follow that. What place wants to close? Where does that push you down into the floor? Okay. Lower easy out of that. It doesn't know how. Go gently. Little steps. Slow. 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 Now, if your shoulder's tight, okay, let's say you're using a pillow and your shoulder's a little bit tight, it's too much to reach back there. I like having the thumb right on the bone behind the ear, sort of the hands like a tripod over the ear. And let's have that lower hand help do the lifting. The gentle breath in. We're just going to close on up easy here. Okay. Now, are you curling forward? Do you need to curl forward to do it? Could your spine be straight? Could your head be back? Could it be equal effort between front and back? Okay. Just make it intentional, whatever effort you choose to use. And can you soften out of that? Can you soften out of it? Maybe, could you breathe into that long line to help it know how to sort of claim that space? It's all breathing space. You can breathe into the abdomen well. You can breathe into the side waist as well. And the side ribs get to breathe. And they're part of our breathing movement. Gentle breath in, and on the exhale, we're just going to close on up. Just gentle on the head. Fingertips could be on the top of the head. Let the hand do some of the work to lift the head. And we're just lowering down easy. And if you need a pillow, you're welcome to use a pillow. I encourage you to go without a pillow. Oops. Okay. The gentle breath in. On the exhale, how does it roll? How do I lift sort of one vertebrae at a time? How does that curve, like I'm rolling up a carpet, as the neck starts to bend a little bit with the hand doing the lift, that shoulder pulls down, that bends the upper rib cage, and the side, middle and lower rib cage bend. The waist just sort of counterbalances the whole thing. The head could be looking forward. I like that. I see a lot of people, I think it's sort of a cheat that the system tries to look up to do it. Well, no, we're lifting that ear. The waist and the ribs are lifting the ear and the ankles up toward the sky. Okay. Now how does that open? Can you open easy? Can it not stretch? A stretch is where it's kicking and screaming and says, I don't want to open. But could you let it relax open? Again, gentle breath in. Just softer. Try softer. Try softer. Half the effort. The neck doesn't even have to bend so much. Are you really pulling those ribs down? What are all the places that you push down into the floor to find the upper side? Okay. And open out of that easy. Easy. Slow. Slow. We're going to do one where we're intentionally curling forward this time. Breath in and exhale and sort of pull collarbone to front pocket. There we go. And open easy. If I was doing this on my own, I'd probably be doing less effort. Less effort, smaller. I'm making it a big movement to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to do one more as we relax out of that. I'm really going to try to show you how I do it. The gentle breath in, I'm just closing on up. Okay, how much is really enough? Can I feel small in it? Can I just close that side? Not a big lift, it's a closing of the side. Can the brain see that the space is small? Out of that. Opening out of that so nicely. Yeah, that's beautiful. Slow, slow, slower, slower, slower. How softly can you finish? Can you pay attention all the way? Where does your brain check out? Now that's where we have the amnesia. We're looking for where does the brain not get it, and we're running right into that. We're jumping right into where it doesn't want to go. And let's do one where we activate the back. So we know to activate the back, we're going to be pushing the back arches forward and pushes the belly and chest forward. We're going to add that to our side bend. Gentle breath in, we're coming up into the side bend a little bit. I'm shining the tops of my thighs down to the floor with the closing waist, and the ribs are just lifting the head easily. And I'm going to add that arch a little bit to pull shoulder blade, back of shoulder blade to back pocket, upper back pocket. Is there a quiet spot that you need to feel? Could you find that one little spot where it's hard to feel the tension? And open out of that, easy. Could you breathe into that opening back space as the shoulder comes forward? Breathe the ribs open, squeezing the air out. It's all breathing. Squeeze the air out of that line all the way. Can your brain get it? I'm cupping the back of my head, the base of my head, to sort of pull against that hand. Hand's giving a little opposition maybe. We're just opening easy out of that. Easy out of that, softer and softer and softer. That. Okay, and then let's just try that self-assessment at the end. We're just going to let shoulder roll forward, let shoulder roll back, and try to imagine and remember what you had in the beginning. Say, okay, is that more free? Is it free? Okay, just going to lie down on the back. There we go. And just look and compare the sides. Are the sides relaxed? Breathe into one side. Breathe in. Take just a soft sip of air into the other side. There we go. That's the side bend. Thank you very much for practicing with me today.